Greetings and welcome. This is Jim Phillips with Remember Veteran Grave Markers. Today I want to talk about something that everybody will have to deal with at some point working with cemeteries. Whether you're a family member or volunteer going out to do something, you'll have to do this. And so we'll talk through it. But before we begin, I'd like to give a shout out to two organizations that have provided us some support to Remember Veteran Grave Markers. I mean, we've had many, the American Legion, the VFW, the Masonic Lodge, individuals, but also some big organizations like Wreaths Across America has given us their support, and also a relationship with the National Veterans Business Development Council and their Military Veteran Organization Task Force. Those organizations have provided us some greater visibility and opportunities to be able to reach out and touch other people. The goal of Remember Veteran Grave Markers is not cleaning graves as much as is educating and bringing awareness to the need for the community to step up and do some things. This all begins with family, and then extends out from family to the community. Because the people in your cemeteries are your community. And while they're not voting members and they're currently not doing anything other than being there in the cemetery, they are your loved ones and your family members and your community members. And some of those veterans who are out there helped form your community. They are the oftentimes the pioneers of your community. And they need attention. So let's talk about that. I think one of the biggest issues that happen in the beginning of any type of work on cleaning headstones is the idea of getting permission. The general rule, now you'll have to check with each cemetery specifically, but the general rule is this: to clean headstones and the grave itself, you need to either be a member of the family or you need to be cemetery employees. You have to be one of those two. Now, that's generally the rule. And the cemeteries get pretty difficult if you're not one of those two when going out and cleaning headstones. Now, it is important to recognize that with government-furnished headstones, the headstones that Remember Veteran Grave Markers works on, those are taxpayer-funded headstones. Families did not buy them, nor did the cemetery, nor did the county. There were taxpayers paid for those. And with that, there is a responsibility to be able to maintain them. Now, oftentimes families, as in the case of private headstones as well, families have died. There's no one there to take care of them. In the case of private headstones, that becomes a challenge, because if there's no one to take care of them, the stones slowly but surely will degrade and possibly even be assumed into the land. When I say that, I mean by they fell over, they get covered over by dirt, or they sink. Now, those things happen, and those are realities of cemetery work. But for us on Remember Veteran Grave Markers, we look at government-furnished headstones. So there is a different duty of attendance, because these are veterans, and they are publicly purchased headstones by taxpayers on behalf of the veteran or in respect of the veteran. So we have a duty there. But it is important to be able to have a relationship with the cemetery to let them know, yes, what you're doing is important, and it is okay to do that, provided you follow the cleaning regimen by the Department of Veterans Affairs. Good sound cleaning techniques and the use of proper materials when cleaning government-furnished headstones. Yeah, I've talked to recently, I was talking to a religious sister, a nun, and she was talking about going out to the cemetery where her sisters are at. And I'm talking about her religious community as opposed to family sisters. And the cemetery denied them access to do that. Said, no, I'm sorry, you're not family. I'm like, oh, hold it a second. Most of these women, A, don't have any family around anymore, and B, they are my family. I mean, they're part of our community, whether they're Ursuline sisters or Franciscan sisters or Notre Dame sisters. They're all they're all family, at least to the women religious that are working there. So it's important to recognize that yeah, you need to establish relationship to be able to do the cleaning that you wish to do. And I think it's important for all of us to remember that to be able to do the work we do, we need to start out right. And that means develop the relationships, create the energy between the two organizations, the cemetery and yourself, or cemetery and your cleaning group, so that you can go out there without any problems and take care of business. In the case of the religious sister, I'm familiar with the area that they were looking at because a lot of the headstones were being grown over with grass. And if you've been to see any, particularly of the grave markers, which are the flat stones, those are easily assumed into the ground because they mow over them, they sink, and slowly the ground just covers over the grave marker. So it's important for you to say, hey, we need to be able to elevate these stones to be able to, so that we can recognize and remember our family. Now, whether you're doing it for family, whether you're doing it for women religious, or whether you're doing it for veterans, doesn't really matter. What you're doing it for is to remember the people that sacrificed and gave something back to the family, or at least they were the ones that started it. And I think it's important to be able to do that. Like I said, starts with a relationship. So establish a relationship with the cemetery you're working at. And if there's a rule that is in conflict, try to reconcile that rule. Try to say, that's fine for family members, but there's none are left. They're all dead. So what are you as an organization, cemetery, going to do to recognize and take care of our community? Or are you going to allow us to be able to do this so that we can take care of our community? Either way, it needs to happen. And oftentimes for cemeteries, it's one task out of 1,000. But for you, it's the only task that you want to do. So you want to be able to let them know that you will follow the proper protocol for cleaning and doing the work so that it eases the burden on them and their concern. So those are the things I want you to take away. We are at the point of the year for us in Ohio that time is now spent on creating videos and informational content as opposed to going out and cleaning graves. It gets too cold and the stuff doesn't work very well. The D2 and such doesn't work as well as it does in the summer or in the late spring and fall, early fall. So, all right, with that being said, I'd like you to like, subscribe, and share the video. Please do that so that others may learn about what we do and about what you're planning to do. So when they ask the question, I said, well, we just go out and clean. They go, well, it's not as simple as that. Not as simple. So help educate them and help us educate others by sharing the video and making comments about the video that you see. Take care. God bless. Until the next video, be safe. Remember to like, subscribe, and share this video. It is important because the information that we share today is stuff that you want to be able to share with your loved ones and with people that want to know more about their heritage. Take care. God bless. Until next time, this is Jim Phillips, out.